And we are live. I am Leonardo Torres.
I'm Erika Ayala.
And together we are Leonerica. And Mustachio
Of course.
is in the house. We gotta give credit to Mustachio. He's done a great job growing. You can see some older videos. He's just a baby, and he's so cute. Like little,
I guess. I'm just kidding.
Little fuzz just over my lip, and I don't blame David for not seeing him until recently. So
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, we're back. We decided to come back
just for a little bit
and have a little chat with you all. Thank you all so much for joining us on that taco party. That was fun.
It was great. I had only a taco and a half though. I don't eat tacos that fast.
How many did I eat? 4?
Who's counting?
Yeah, who knows? I might.
Nobody's gonna know.
Wait a minute. Based on how I feel, I think I ate 3, 4, maybe 4.
Well, I got 8, so there's 2 left, and I had 2 basically. So that's 4 right
so
there.
I ate 4. Okay, I ate 4. David, hi. Katie, hi. The adaptive.
That's Alicia's husband.
Mortimer, yes. But I'm just want to call you. Hey, Alicia's husband.
I know, but I just want to see you remember. Sorry.
Yeah, no. You're good. Can we get a name so we know what to call you? Yeah. So long time no see, y'all. Thanks so much for joining us. We're taking some cues and giving you some answers to some questions here. So if you have any questions about anything, about the Boiling Point project, or if you have any questions about anything else, let us know. Driving to Paris. Really, you're driving to Paris. Boiling Point, excellent. Robert Montes, shout out. Robert Montes is the agency that manages, or Boiling Point is his client, and he has other bands. And maybe Robert, I apologize for not getting back to you on one of your last messages, but I will definitely be in contact because I do want to listen to some more new bands and maybe have them on and do what we did today. Have a taco party. We can listen to their music live and enjoy some tacos and talk about songwriting and all kinds of awesome stuff. The cool mustache enthusiast. Yes, I see that your emoji there has a mustache. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that kind of mustache. Like we just like that, just that.
He likes.
Or should I go with like the police officer, like the highway patrol mustache, or the bandido, the bandido, like I'm ready to rob a train or something style. I don't know. Team up for Movember. Yeah, maybe don't shave for November. Yeah, maybe we should do it.
Welcome, Soldiers of Christ. They're new.
Soldiers of Christ.
Just new subscriber.
Hey guys, really new subscriber here. Really enjoying. Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for subscribing. We appreciate it. Oh, I like your image, the roaring lion in the background. It's awesome. Does the set that contains all sets contain itself? Ooh, very good question. Does the set that contains all sets contain itself? I would say yes. I think it does contain itself.
But I kind of went over my head a little bit. Just kidding. I had to read it a couple times.
I still have to read it a couple times. Don't feel like it's not like it's just you. It's definitely not just you. Great worky. Thank you so much. Let's see. They heard me. Yeah. So any questions? Let us know. I'm confused. So am I.
We just decided to come back on, Jackie, just for a little bit. And yes, Roxana, just a little bit this time because we're gonna take the girls. We had tacos, but we're gonna probably go take the girls out to dinner a little bit in a couple hours. So yes.
Yes, in English. Oui, en francés. Shout out to you all who are new to the channel, and so we see like a Google user. We have a Google user. I think I've seen you maybe once or twice. What do you think about alcohol? Is it a real poison or something normal to drink? Something, I don't have anything against alcohol. Just like I don't have anything against all things of the world. I start at a neutral position. I think the real problem becomes when people start abusing the thing. And so I know I've known many people who, or I should say many types of drinkers. Some drinkers, they drink and they they start to cry. Others, they start to get violent. Others start to get more loving, and they hug me a lot more and tell me how much I love you, bro. And others, they just want to argue. Some people will just remember things and start crying about things. So there's all kinds of drinking. I don't think that the drinking is the problem. I think the problem is much deeper than that. It's what's inside the person. I think it's just like money. It just makes you more of what you are.
Yep.
So if you're a giving person and you win the lotto, you're going to be more giving. If you're a very stingy person, selfish, then when you win the lottery, you're going to want to keep it all to yourself. Sorry, you distracted me.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I didn't mean to.
No, I know you didn't. But yeah, that's where I am. I'm not against it.
No.
Now there are some things that I've heard about the word like alcohol. It supposedly is it's a Arabic word or something that means for water demon or something, but I don't know. I really don't know, and I don't like to have a solid position on something that I'm not. I really don't know. Is it a real poison? I think it can be, but then again, you can also die from drinking too much water. Just regular water. I think everything. Measure yourself and know how much you can. I've been known to have a little bit of wine or have a little bit of tequila with,
it's literally like,
it's like tiny little bit, like
a splash.
Drinkers would probably make fun of me for doing it. I'm like, that's it. What? Like add some more in it. But, again, I don't have anything against drinking. It's more about the person and what they, and what they have inside, right?
Roxana.
Why are you wearing two shirts?
I love how Roxana notices like everything, and it's not a bad thing, Roxana. It's funny.
I'm wearing two shirts because I don't know. We were I rushed to put on the shirt. I was already talking to Eric on screen before we got started, and rather than taking off my shirt, in front of him, just put on the other shirt on top. It doesn't bother me. But yeah, that's the reason why I'm wearing two shirts. Hello again. Kids are with the grandparents. The two older ones and our younger one is in bed. Awesome. Okay, so what time is it for you? Let us know. Great job, Leo, on the Boiling Point CD. Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate that. What did you all think about the three songs? Not just the song that I was in, but what did you all think about it? What do you think about it?
I liked all of them. I like his style, his like rock style. It kind of brings back to like that 2000s kind of rock that I used to listen to. Yeah. So I like his singing too is really good, and just the music style.
The screaming is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The little screaming, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's not like oh my, like a lot, which I like that now too. But I also like the subtle screams, I guess. So I do. I really enjoyed all songs. The last one was a more emotional one.
Yeah, it was really, really emotional. Jackie asks, you talk about a helpful prayer book. I keep missing the Bible. Oh, okay. So if you go to the Holy Spirit, what is it? The Holy Spirit videos. In the description, there's a link to the Bible that I use, so you can click on that link and then buy it right from Amazon.
Do you want me to grab it?
No, it's all right. I don't even know where it is right now.
It's right there.
Oh, it's right there. Yeah, it's a good Bible. I'm really glad that I was gifted it because it has a lot of notes, really really good notes on it. Alcoholics of the World, BTDT. What is that? I'm not sure what that stands for. I'm not up to date on the abbreviations, but never going back. That's great. Like, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Mm-hmm. In biblical times, if you want to go there, there is wine drinking at parties, and if Jesus had a problem with it, I think he wouldn't have turned the water into wine or multiplied the wine, whatever the story was. Mm-hmm. I think the important thing here, familia, that I'm trying my best to convey with these last talks that we've had, and I know that a lot of you have been following along, is that I want to look at what's inside of us. I want to see what it is that makes us do what we do. I think when we understand that, then we'll understand why we are we drink in excess, why we lust over, men or women, and understand where all that stuff is coming from, so that we know how to keep it, at bay. Just like you said, you're never going back. There's something that you did internally to make that happen. Otherwise, you would fall under its temptation time and time again if you didn't change something internally. Let's see what other question here. Love you guys. I just asked because I know it is very hot there. Yeah. It is, but I'm sitting underneath the fan and the AC is on, so I like to keep cozy. I've never been like walking in my house without a shirt because it's hot and then blast the air. I like to stay warm,
Yeah. Right? It gets cold really easily.
It's not that I get cold. It's just that I don't know. It's also maybe it has to do with my mom saying, don't do that because you're going to get sick. And so maybe mentally I'm thinking if I'm walking around with my shirt off, or if I'm a little bit, fresh or cool, I might get sick. And I don't know, it might be a paranoid thing. Maybe. No, it's a prayer book. I don't think, did I mention anything about a prayer book?
Oh, was it not your daily devotional?
Oh, the daily devotional?
Maybe it's a daily devotional, the prayer book, the Jesus is calling. Let me see.
I'm not sure where it is, actually.
No?
To be honest, I don't know where. I think it might have been in another bag. I'll let you know, Jackie.
There.
I'll message you. Oh, okay, cool. By the way, the link to that book is also in that video. Are you talking about this one? The Jesus is Calling? It's a daily devotional we found at a store called Sam's Club.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, she doesn't. She may or may not know. I don't know. There's a Sam's Club out there. The Ranger Games. When is your next For King and Country reaction? I'm not sure. In the next couple of days, maybe Sunday, because we're gonna be busy tomorrow and Saturday.
Tomorrow we're gonna drive, and then Saturday we have an event or something. So
yeah. I think Linda sent the book to Leo. Oh, the prayer book. Okay, so okay, cool. Got it. Okay, I will see if I can add the link. But yes, Linda sent me these books. This is called Simply Pray by Johannes Hartl, and a follow-up book called Heartfire, which, by the way, we haven't finished reading this one. So yeah, these are the two books here: Simply Pray and Heartfire. Heartfire.
Which the Simply Pray is really good.
Yeah, it's a really good book. Very easy to follow along with. Your reactions to The Chosen is how I found your channel, and I'm glad I did. With that, I know you did a video mentioning doing reactions to season 2. Have you decided when you may do that? I have to follow up with Brad, who used to work with VidAngel. He's no longer working with them, but they just need to send me the files. I'm sorry, people. I'm very, very sorry. Yeah. I'm going to follow up with him and see what he has to say, and see if I can at least get, I don't know, I'll even figure out a way of getting them straight from YouTube. I'm not going to say how, but see if I could do that and just get started with that. But soon, I promise. At least in July for sure. It'll happen in July. Yeah. I mean, we can be in the world, but not of it. That's right. Not doing things that the world does. That is the meaning of being in the world, but not of it. Exactly. And if you all followed the conversation that I had with Pastor Mike and Andrew yesterday, we sort of touched a little bit on the topic of desire and sin. What is your thought? Oh, give me one quick second. I missed a super chat. Thank you, Iron, for super chat. Where is it? Oh, I don't know. Must have missed it. But thank you. Iron Line Health said, what is your thought on some of the churches use emotional manipulation and worship in leading, and how would you define spirit-led worship? Okay, I'll touch on that. Let me answer this question first. This subject first. Alicia, I very carefully walked us through this thing that we call desire. Okay, and so don't take it don't take this to heart. Okay, please, if you have questions about it, ask your pastors, confirm with your pastors. I'm not here to tell you that I have a new way of thinking or a new philosophy for you or new theology or to contradict what the Bible says or whatnot. But there are some things that I feel like pastors may not touch on, either because they don't want to, or because they themselves aren't aware of it, or they don't know about it. I missed that super chat. I'm not sure. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, so and that's this, Alicia. Like, for example, I'm walking down a street, minding my own affair. When two policemen. No, sorry, I got distracted. Sorry. All right, so I'm walking down the street and I'm passing by a shop, a suit shop, and I can look at the shop. First is the looking, right? First I see the thing. I see the object. Then I engage with it, right? I can walk in, I can step in and look at the suit and be like, wow, this material is nice. And now I'm touching it. So now there's sensation, right? I'm feeling it. And then I can appreciate the stitching and be like, wow, this is stitched really beautiful. It looks like it'll last, many years. Like, it won't come undone. The stitching is nice. The fabric is nice. The cut is nice, right? And I can appreciate the work. Just the work. And I'm not saying that you should go and appreciate the work at a strip club or at a bar or anything like that. Okay. All I'm saying is I'm just walking you through the process of sin. Okay. And I put it in air quotes for a reason. Up until now, there is nothing wrong with what I've just done. Okay. Nothing wrong. It's until thought comes in and says, I need to have this suit. I would look great in this suit. And I start picturing, my mind is now creating images about how I'm going to look at my friend's wedding, or when I wear it to a very special dinner, or, I can wear it at different functions. And now I'm imagining all these things. Now that is the root of my desire. And then that brings up more. I want it. Now I want it. Can I afford it? No, I can't afford it. Or even if I can't afford it, I buy it and I'm wearing it. Now it's, look at me, right? Now it's done something. Now I'm carrying out my desire, but that desire is that thought that I want it and that I would look good in it. Okay. Up until that point, there was no desire for it. I was just merely appreciated. I could have walked away and said, man, that was beautiful. And that's it. Walk away. All right. But it's the wanting it, the thought of seeing myself in it, the desire. What am I to do with that? Right? Because it's tempting me. It's just like Pastor Mike and Andrew said, the temptation happens externally, but it also happens internally. It's what happens when I imagine myself with the thing. Now, the question is this, can I separate the two? Separate the appreciation and the sensation of it and the thought of wanting it? And the answer is yes, I can separate. I can at the very least say, step back and say, I don't need it. It's not going to do anything for me, right? And this is exactly what you're doing. You're looking at the world and you're saying alcohol is of this world. I am not of this world. And so you can separate the thought from the sensation, because alcohol no longer does anything for you, right? And if alcohol is an escape, that's where the problem begins, because it's not, now I want to go drink, and if my friends won't drink, now I'm drinking by myself, or is it that I go to a party just to go and have fun and do my thing, and then I'm offered something to drink and I could say, no, thank you, I'm okay, because I know that I have to drive? Or am I carelessly just accepting, not caring how I'm going to get home or who I'm going to end up with or what decisions are going to be made, right? So I don't know if that touches on your question or answers it. Now let's look at this one. Iron Lion Health says, what is your thought on how some churches use emotional manipulation in worship, in leading, and how would you define spirit-led worship? Okay. Emotional manipulation. That happens often, and it doesn't just happen in churches, right? But we've seen that some churches do manipulate emotionally. It guilt trips you. It guilts you into believing something. Any pastor, and familia, this is just my opinion, but anyone who points to God and uses fear to get you to follow is not of God. Because God is love, And God, as we saw in, I think in yesterday in Romans, it was that it's his kindness, or they mentioned something about his kindness is what leads people to what is it, redemption, or I forgot what the word was.
Not redemption. It was
repentance. I think so. Is what leads. So God's kindness is what leads people to I forgot the word again. Repentance. Yeah, thank you.
It's okay.
Right. So there are some people who will manipulate you emotionally. Now let's look at the word manipulation. To manipulate means to handle with skill. Okay. The word manipulation in and of itself is not bad. It just means to handle with skill. So I can manipulate my guitar to get a really good sound out of it. So that means I can handle it very skillfully. So now we're talking about handling people's emotions very skillfully. And there's a way of emotionally manipulating people into doing something good. So, so please, let's detach all the negativity from this word manipulation, because if I see someone heading towards destruction, I can use a good emotion to get them to look away and move in that direction, right? Like, for example, when I was doing sales over the phone, I had my boss told me, if you don't sell anything, you're going to be without a job tomorrow. Yeah. So that could be emotional manipulation, because now I'm afraid that I'm not going to have a job tomorrow. But if it would have said, hey, if you sell something today, I'll throw in an extra bonus on your check. Now he's positively reinforcing my action. So he's moving me to sell in a positive way versus getting me to sell in a negative way by saying what's going to happen to me if I don't. So I personally am more motivated to act on something when it's positive, right? And so everyone works differently. Some people do need a big bad picture to be put in front of them in order to get them to move. But is it always necessary? No, it's not. So I hope that answers your question. Emotional manipulation. And forgive me for saying that. I'm just going to be honest and open. A lot of pastors I'm seeing, they use their tone to do this, to manipulate people. So when they're talking to you, they'll go into this very sad, almost crying voice, and God wants me to tell you this, and it becomes, and they use their voice to manipulate, and God does not want you to, or they'll use it, and God does not want you to, and so they use their tone to get you. It's called inciting an emotion out of you, and then presenting a problem, and then presenting the solution to that problem. So there's a technique that goes along with it. Yeah. And people have to be careful, because sometimes they will present a fear that you didn't even know existed. They get you to be afraid of that thing, and then they present a solution, in this case Christ, or in this case their church, or them themselves, the pastor. It says, but I've been sent here by God to do this for you. And then in essence, some people end up following the church or end up following the pastor and not following God. They end up making the pastor or the leader an authority versus making God the authority, and they're not even able to question faith or question scripture to the priest, because then they'll be outcasted. And a lot of us fear being outcasted. We all fear being kicked out of a church, which is what happened to me. So I don't know if that answers your question. And how would you define spirit-led worship? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how what that even means, But when I'm looking at this spirit-led, when I think about spirit-led, I think of my ego being removed. So me removing myself, getting myself out of the way so that the Spirit can be the one that leads. And worship is praising, right? So praising from a part that is not me, Leonardo. I have to get into another conversation in order to explain what I mean by that, but I have detached myself from this persona called Leonardo. I go by it, I answer by it, because that's the name that was given to me. That's how you all know me. So I answer by it, but this also belongs to the world. This Leonardo persona belongs to the world, and who I am behind this persona, the one that watches this persona be tempted and be manipulated and be all these things, comes and goes. It fluctuates. It you know, so one moment it's happy, the next moment it's afraid. One moment it's excited about the future. One moment another moment it's afraid of the future or dwelling on the past. But I am watching all of these movements of the mind. I'm the one that watches all of these things, all these coming and going, all these changes, and the one behind it is unchanging. And so when I allow that Leonardo to move out of the way, and I allow the Spirit to say the words that are needed to be spoken, that's spirit. That, I guess, would be Spirit-led worship for me. That's how I would define it. Is the removal of the person or the persona, the mask, the removal of the persona, and the allowance of the Spirit to be the one who speaks on behalf of the person. And you'll know it by its fruits. You'll know that it speaks about love, that it speaks about kindness, it speaks about a positive and beautiful future. It speaks all things of heaven. It will not speak things of hell. It will not speak divisive words. It won't divide people. It won't condemn. It won't judge, because the persona is what judges. God can judge, yes, but you'll know it based on what it's speaking and how it makes people feel. So I don't know, you know. Does that answer the question? Let me know.
Amen, brother.
Amen, brother.
That's with him. So he says yes.
The real us, exactly, Andrew. The real us, the one that was there before our name was given to us, the one that was there before God stitched you together or formed you together. I forgot what the words are in the Bible, but the real you, the one who accepted Andrew as a name, as itself. Andrew is going to be. I'm going to be blunt, like. Leonardo is just going to be a name on a stone. What I am behind it is going to be is going to go into the other world. It's already in the other world, if I can say it that way. I don't think that fear tactic should be a go-to, but I can say that at least personally, I'd rather be scared into heaven than go to hell for any reason. Jessica, I get it. I totally get that. You'd rather be scared into heaven. And I get it, but at some point I want to recommend that you leave your fear behind. Don't take that into heaven. You know, be at least scared away from hell, but not scared into heaven. Does that?
I get that. Yeah? Not being scared into heaven. Like,
yeah, don't be scared into heaven. Be scared away from hell. See, humans, we operate and are moved by two things: either the fear of something, we want to move away from something, or we want to move towards something. Just like I explained, my boss had told me, sell or you're going to be fired. That's me wanting to move away from something. I don't want to get fired, so I'm going to move away from that, and I'm going to take this action, and every action is going to be frustrated and scared, and I'm going to feel pushy with people. When I was selling over the phone, right, it would have been pushy, right, as opposed to, hey, if you sell, I'm going to put more money into your check. Now I'm positively motivated. Now I'm moving towards something. And so my actions are different. It's the same. I'm still calling. I'm still selling, right? But my action, the way that I engage with people, is not going to be fear-led. It's going to be love-led. It's going to be like, hey, I hear your children. You know, I hear your children in the background. Have you ever heard of this movie? You know, we can send you 2 DVDs for this price or whatever. And your kids will love it. Will love this movie. And if you don't love it, you can just send it right back. No problem. It'll only cost you this much, or whatever the sales was at that time. But they use fear to get me to take action. I don't work that way. So leave your fear at the door, because what is the song? Leave my fear at the door, because it ain't welcome anymore.
That's from the Father's house.
You're in the Father's house. See what I'm saying? Yeah. So listen to Corey. Listen to Corey. He's got great advice. Let's see. For example, take the Grand Canyon. If you see warning signs, you'd probably be scared of falling, but it makes you know to not get too close to the edge, right? Not get too close to the edge. Yeah, perfect example. Love it. You know not to get too close to the edge, but most people, they avoid the Grand Canyon. They're like, oh, they see a first sign, nope, and they go the opposite direction. You know, like, it's okay. Anyway, if you want to see the Grand Canyon, I don't know. I'm drawn to the love of Jesus, not scared away from hell. Hell doesn't scare me because it has no hold on me. Yeah, that's a good attitude. Not scared away from hell. Yeah, you want to move towards love. The thing is that some people fear God. they have this strange fear of God is going to hurt me. And like I said before, it's just like when I used to go to the swap meet with my mom, I was afraid of getting lost, that I was going to wander and look at some toy and then my mom was going to be gone. So yes, I had this fear, but all I had to do to avoid that was stay close to mom.
I was a bad kid. I got lost at SeaWorld.
I got lost a lot of times.
I was 4 years old and I got lost at SeaWorld, and I came back with some sunglasses. I was a 4-year-old, I guess, thief.
She's stealing? Ooh, she's stealing.
My mom just said I came back with some like new shades. Like, first of all, how did you lose me? Like, what? It's really not funny, but no, it's funny because I guess in the sense like I'm here, so but no.
Yeah. So yeah, that answers those questions. I don't know. Any other questions? Let me see if I missed any. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I'm a child of God. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Did that answer your question? I'm assuming it did because you're saying amen, brother, and you have a line there. I don't think the fear tactics work. Have to be careful when dealing with souls. Tone is good, but if it's not genuine or led by the Spirit, it's dangerous. May lead someone to just respond, but not really being led by God. Yeah. Being careful with dealing with souls, which is why I'm extra cautious about how I interact with you all. I never want to say anything that's going to hurt you, and it's not that I will encourage your, say, negative behavior.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's just that I'm always going to find a loving way of telling you, hey, that may not be the best way to go about things,
which is still a good thing, because like I said, we're all about, you don't have to agree with everyone. It's okay to disagree. It's just always making sure or trying your best to respond with love, and it not coming off aggressive or in that way. I mean, you can aggressively love someone, I guess, but just do it with love.
I love what Jackie just said. Never thought of heaven or hell. When I said yes, I just wanted to be near Jesus and be friends. That's it. If you're near, I mean, you can't get lost. If you're close by,
that's true.
You can't get lost.
Very true.
It's like being afraid of missing the train when you're already on the train. You're on the train. You can't be afraid of missing the train or being late to where you're going because you're afraid that you're going to miss the train when you're already on the train. I'm drawn to the love. Oh, I read about that one. Said, love conquers all, for God is love. Right. That's what we want echoed here. People are very loving. That is why we're all here. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, it's really nice to hear.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Roxana, for letting people know about the list too. Yes, I covered some of that, but I had to cover it. Repent. Please, I'm not sure what that is. Please pray for the Surfside, Florida tragedy. Oh, not sure what that is, but I'll look into it and we'll definitely be praying. I got lost deliberately.
I think I know what she's saying.
I think that's called running away.
I think she's talking about because I stole.
Repent. Repent. Reverent fear of God. That is, yeah. So being afraid of the consequences of not loving God, but not being afraid of God.
I don't think I was never afraid of God or knowing God or having a relationship with God. What made me afraid and was other people who were other people in their relationships with God, if that makes sense, who are trying to educate me or influence me by their experience and their relationship with God. That's what I was fearful of, to be honest. And obviously from where I stood and where I feel on my beliefs with certain things, I don't come out and say a lot of them. Because like he says, we're just, careful about how we word ourselves. And I don't ever want to come off like if I'm offending anyone or being controversial. Is that the word? Controversial. Ultimately at the end of the day, I know in my heart, God knows my relationship with him, And to me, that's what's most important. And I have that relationship with him, and he knows I have that relationship with him. And, you know, I love as much as I can, you know, to everyone, you know, and we both do. It's not always easy because some people don't want to accept the love, even when you're giving it, you know. They say, we didn't ask for it. I know you didn't ask for it, but this is what's in me. Love lives within me. Christ is within me. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. I'm not going to like do it in like an annoying way, of course, you know, where they're like a fly or something, but I'm going to do it in a way where like they're going to feel it regardless. Because I think, like I said this before, everyone is deserving of love. Mm-hmm. Everyone. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what background you come from, where you're at, where you stand. To me, if you're in front of me, near me, around me, like you're going to be loved regardless. It's just, because like I said, Christ lives within me. So that's what I'm going to do. And that's just to love always. And if you have Christ in you, then you're going to be able to spread that love in the way that Christ does for us. Always.
And here, Evan brought up this new commandment that I give to you. Love others as I've loved you. He gave us a new command, not an additional command. Love would cover other laws like the 10 Commandments, right? Mm-hmm. And we've said it several times, and we're going to continue to echo this and repeat it as long as we live. That God said, Christ said, if you love me, you will keep my commands. Those that love me will keep my commands. Those that do not love me will not keep my commands. It's very clear cut. If you love me, keep my commands. Those that love me will keep my commands. Those that do not love me will not keep my commands. And my command is this: love one another. So if you love one another, then you're showing that you love Christ. Yep. By loving one another. If you hate someone for what they believe in, if you hate someone for what their lifestyle, if you hate other people, you are not loving them. Therefore, you're showing that you do not love Christ. It's very simple. It's not theology. It's not a new church. It's not any of that. It's just very simple, clean cut. It's clean. Yeah. It's clear. There's no arguing with that. He's saying, love one another, and you will show that you love me. If you don't love one another, you don't love me. Period. Quick. There's someone that says, if you don't remember them, named Victor. He's went to high school with you. Go up. Where? Victor Aceves. Yes, I know who you are. What's up, man? What's up, Victor? We went to the same high school. Dominguez High. Shout out to D High in Compton. Yeah, man. How are you? I hope you're doing well, man. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. Good to hear from you. I think I've seen you on Facebook. I haven't seen you in a while, actually, but good, man. Good to see you on here. Good to know that you're still with us. Let's see. And Roxana has a question for you, Victor. Says, I have a question for you. How was Leonardo in high school? Victor, come on, man. We were cool, right? We were cool in school. He's gonna be like weird, carried his guitar, kept to himself, failed PE. Failed PE. Did he do band? Was he in band? No, he wasn't in band. No, but he was in the circle. He was in the circle, yeah. Yeah, so love one another. Love one another. I don't want to sound so like I don't, cliche, but it's really easy. I sometimes I run into people, like even some of my own family members, but I have to remind them, like, just love. I mean, it's really that simple. Yeah. Like, I've asked this question before, and I think we've talked about it before. I asked him one day, I literally was just sitting here and I was like, we were journaling, I think. And I asked him, I asked him, why do you think some people hate, or they can't, or don't want to, or they refuse, or maybe they don't know how, I don't know, but why can't we just love? Like, and I say it like that because it is very simple to me. I mean, to be honest, it just seems like an easy thing to do. Like, we shouldn't judge anyone
I'm not gonna lie. Yes, we've all done it where we've looked, judged, but I've never judged somebody harshly where I'm like, where I've never wanted to get to know them or be open to hear about who they are, but yeah, we've all done it. We I mean, you've done it, but sorry, I was reading a comment.
That's good.
But it's just, and even people who've done me wrong, like I can't even come out and say that I hate them. Like, I don't think I've ever like said it and meant that I hate someone. I don't hate, I don't think that's ever, like I said, even from my past, like my enemies, like, or I guess they really weren't enemies. They're
your aggressors.
Yeah. My aggressors, cause I've gone through a lot, been through the ringer myself.
Yeah. What about hating someone from your past? All right. Perfect. Have you ever noticed, familia, that we can go from one emotion to another emotion really quickly, right? So let's just say that there's someone from my past who did me wrong. They hurt me, right? They were really cruel to me. They were mean. And I'm hanging out at some party and I'm just, enjoying myself. And I'm here with Erika. And then that person walks through the door. How do I go from being happy and enjoying myself to seeing him to immediately going, oh, he's here? And I'm like, who's here? Who just got here? You see who just got here? And all of a sudden, all of that things that I'm still holding on to comes rushing in. And I'm now thinking, man, I really hate that person. They really hurt me. And I can't, I'm ready to leave, right? I don't want, either he leaves or I leave, but we can't be in the same place together because it's going to get nasty, right? And then let's just say that person looks at me and says, oh, Leo's here. Maybe I should go. And he leaves instantly. Why can't I go from being angry that he's here to being happy again and enjoying myself? Why do I still go? I can't believe he showed up. He's gone already. And I'm still stuck. You know what he did to me? He did this, he did that, he did this, he hurt me. And I can't believe he had the guts to show up here. And did you see the way he looked at me? And I'm still with him. He's not even in the room anymore. So I shifted emotions from being happy to being angry really fast. And it takes a longer time for me to move from angry to being happy again, even though he's gone. And here's a couple of things to consider. What if he's not the same person anymore? What if when he's there, let's just say he didn't leave, he stayed, and he goes, oh, Leo's over there. Man, when I was younger, I treated Leo really harshly. I was cruel to him. I did this. I did A, B, C, and D. Man, I'm not even that anymore. I'm going to go up to him and see if I can have a word with him and apologize and try to make things better. I don't know this though, right? That's the new him. He's changed. And I'm sitting here and then he starts to come my way and I'm like, oh man, he's already coming out here. He's already on his way. And he goes, hey, what's up, Leo? And I don't say anything because I'm angry, right? I just look at him and he goes, do you mind? Like, can we talk? I don't have anything to say to you. Just like 2 minutes, man. I just want to talk to you about, no, I don't have anything to say to you. Go. Why don't you just get out of here? Like, just go. Take off your shoes and kick rocks, right? Like, get out of here. And then he's like, all right, I respect that. And then he leaves. And I'm like, can you believe it? He came over here just wanted to talk to me. He, after everything he did, and I'm not even giving him the opportunity to correct it. And on top of that, I'm still treating him as he was. But even like my friend Victor here, like he's not the same person that I knew in high school. Of course, something has changed. Like, he's grown. I'm not saying he was a bad person. He was always cool. He always got along with everyone. I don't know in which direction his life went in, so I can't treat him as he was. I got to treat him as he is, as how he's showing up now. So can I hate people from my past? Yeah, I can hate people from my past. But in hating him, I'm hating myself because he's a part of my past.
Yep. And
when I hate him, I become him because now I'm nasty to him. Now I'm treating him harshly and unkindly and unfair. So I just became him. I am him now.
Which that's like perfect. Like, you hit it spot on. Like, if you're hateful, you become that person, and I mean, it's just, but it is hard. I get why you're saying, how can we go from being happy to angry quickly, and then we can't get ourselves back from angry to happy just as quickly. Like we linger into that anger. And I think it has lots to do because everything starts to pile up from the past. Everything starts to come. You remember everything that they did to you, all the hurt, all the pain, all the suffering. Yeah. And it's like, we start getting wrapped up in that. And we're just like, it's like, we're there again, all over again. And it's like, actually, it's like, that's not actually happening. Sorry. But we feel like that's happening because you start remembering a time that they hurt you, one of the times, and the same scene and everything. That's happened to me many times. That actually happened to me when I ran into this person that I talked to in our last live about, you know, being with somebody who was an atheist and was really, really horrible to me. I saw this person like a couple months after it ended, and I was angry that this person was at the same place that I was in, and it was a restaurant. Like, anybody can go there, you know, like, it's just, but I was super angry and I was just like ready to go. I was mad. I was like, I need to leave. Like, I need to get out of here. And this person didn't even really, really see that I was there. It was like, I saw that they were there, you know. It was just, yeah. Everything started to pile up again.
And I think the key here is to not hold on to the past. Learn from it, right? It's not okay that this person, it's a fictitious person. It's not okay that this person hurt me. It's not okay that he treated me that way, right? But if I hold on to it, then I will continue to see him, and I will continue to be hurt, and I'll open up that old wound, right? But if I don't hold on to it, if he talks to me, I'll give him the opportunity to explain himself. I have still the choice to say, I forgive you, but I don't want you to be a part of my life, or it's going to take a while for trust to be rebuilt again, right? But I still have that choice. And if you are a follower of Christ, you're going to carry your cross and follow, and you're going to do as he did. And if you were forgiven for being harsh and stealing and lying and cheating and whatever it is that you did, and I'm pretty sure, like the conversation we had yesterday, the actions, the sin piles up. If you were forgiven for all that, you're instructed to forgive as you were forgiven.
Yeah. Just as
you were forgiven, and move on. Free yourself. In fact, why don't you free yourself from that pain, from having to bring that past? It's like I explained to her, and I heard this in another ideology or another philosophy, that when you're going to cross a river, you need a raft to cross the river, right? So you go and buy one, or you build one, or you whatever. You get the raft, you cross the river, and you leave the raft behind. You don't need to carry the raft with you through the city, through the town. It's just going to be extra baggage. You use it for that moment to get past that main issue, and you leave it behind. You know, his yoke is light, isn't it? What it said.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Great point. Nowhere in scripture does it tell us forgive and forget. Sure, we forgive, but we can't forget. We must not dwell, but as you said, learn from it. Yeah. And yes, like, remember it. Remember what happened, but don't let it hold power over you. It's already, first of all, it's not a real thing anymore. What happened was real in that moment, but it's not happening now. It's no longer happening now. And so that's what I mean by it's not real. So whatever you're feeling from it, that is not real. It's not really happening in the moment. So if you can detach yourself from the way that you feel about the thing and look at it from a different perspective and say, what did I learn? What did I learn from this situation? I explained to you before, my mom was really harsh with me when I was a kid, right? But I had to step away from my pain and from how she was appearing to me and the images that I was making about my mom and how much she hated me because I looked like my dad. And I had to do something with these images. And I can either make them a part of my personality and make them a part of my identity, or I can separate them from me, not let them stick to me, separate them from me and step away and look at it from different angles and say, why? Why does she do that? Why does she insist on treating me this way? Okay, put that down. What was her experience with my dad? She obviously has something against my dad. What was her experience against my dad? My dad beat her. My dad mistreated her. My dad was a drunk that was just horrible to her. Robbed her from a good future. I mean, my mom had a promising future. She was going to go to college. She wanted to be a teacher, and she wanted to be all kinds of great things. She wanted to be a professor, but all that was robbed when my dad came. So she had some anger. So then that anger was not me. It had nothing to do with me. Now I can either carry that with me and say I'm this way because I wasn't loved by my mom, or I'm this way because my dad was a drunk. Like, I can't do that to myself, and I can't do that to my children. So I learned to separate myself from it. It's like I said earlier, there's the seeing and the sensation of it and the interacting with the thing. And then there's the thought of wanting it. What can I do with that thought? Can I remove myself from this thought and not carry it out? Meaning, I don't want to steal that. I don't want to own this suit. I don't want to do worldly things. The separation starts here, not here. So yes, separate myself from the world, but separate the world from me too. Separate the maps that I've done, the ideas that I've formulated about the world, the ideas that I've formulated about my past. Learn to separate myself from those ideas, remove them because they no longer serve me. Why? Because my past doesn't serve God. I serve God here and now. And if I'm too busy dwelling on the past in the here and now, then I'm not in the here and now. I'm stuck in the past. Psychologically speaking, I'm stuck in the past. And therefore, how can I praise him? How can I glorify him? How can I give thanks if I'm dwelling on the things that were unfair, on the things that were harsh and cruel and fear and anger and all these other things that are taking my attention away from the past? Or dreaming about a future that isn't here yet, still dreaming about the future in the now. Tomorrow is never experienced. It's always today. Yesterday was never experienced. It's still today. Yesterday's today. Yesterday, what is it? Today is yesterday's tomorrow. I mean, it's a brain twister, but it goes to show that these things are only here in our head, in our space. So, completely. See, Evan says, I saw a video of the serial killer that was completely regretless to the families of all his victims, but the dad of one of the victims came and said, I forgive you. The killer broke down and cried. Yeah. It was at the courthouse, right? The dad approached him and said, I forgive you for killing my son. And he just sobbed like a kid. Like, forgiveness goes a really long way.
It's not always, it's easier said than done sometimes though.
Yeah.
I mean, people say like, I get it. When I have forgiven people that have hurt me, I am still processing and learning how to not live in the past and to be in the here and now. As he was saying, I do struggle because everyone's backgrounds and stories are different. I'm not saying that just one's stronger or more important than the other. They're not. We all have gone probably through something, that we don't talk about. Sometimes even now I'm still going through some things in the here and now that I'm still having to work on. And some of the people that I need to forgive fully is people that are really important in my life. And it's long-term trauma. And so how does one, and I guess maybe you can answer this, how does one really fully recover from that when you're still kind of dealing with it now?
Okay, let's look at it like I looked at this cell, or you won't have a job tomorrow. What's on the other side of recovery? So like when you recover, what's in it for you at the end of this of recovery?
Well, when I recover, I feel at peace.
You're gonna feel peace. Okay.
I feel whole.
Okay.
Like healed. I feel free.
Right now you have a cup that is hurt and full of guilt and pain from the past. And what you're saying is, I'm going to empty this cup, and at the end of emptying this cup, I'm going to have peace, hope, freedom. You can't get there until you empty that out, right? Okay. I think I explained this to you, but I'm reminded of the story of how they trap monkeys, right? They make this box with a hole that's small, and it's big enough for the monkey to stick its hand in there, but not big enough for it to take out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And inside this box is a banana. So the monkey looks, it's like watching this banana, the monkey being the mind. It's watching this banana and it goes, ooh, banana. So he sticks his hand in there, grabs the banana, and when he wants to pull it out, he can't. He can't. And then the people who are going to trap him just walk up to him. Just walk up and grab him, snatch him, and then take him. He's trapped. He sees them coming, but he won't let go of the banana. And so if you want freedom, you have to let go. Something has to be let go. And so when we talk about moving away from something, you also think about what that, you also have to think about what you holding on to it does for you. It does something for you. It gives you something. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it gives you something.
It gives me something because I also, too, a lot of times when I hold on to this specific thing that's going on, I hold on to it because I feel like I am responsible. Like if I let go, that means I'm giving up on that person. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. We do that often. We feel responsible for the ones that we love, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
But how do you do it where it feels like it's not a bad thing and it is a good thing, but at the same time, doing this, I'm doing it all with love, and I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Can you then, well, ask yourself this question: can I let go of the responsibility over this person and still love them and still take care of them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing that, though, it comes with the emotional manipulation, like people were talking about.
You're going to be manipulated?
Maybe not manipulated, but guilt tripped.
You're going to feel guilty?
Yeah, I'm going to feel guilty by the response I may receive by loving this person at a distance and allowing them to figure it out in a sense on their own, like take responsibility, like you said. It comes with a lot of guilt.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I've been doing this. I've been doing what I'm doing, what I'm talking about. I won't get into too much detail, but I've been here since I was probably like about 7 years old. 6 from what I can remember. It's been going on longer, but from as a kid, from what I could remember, it's been going on since I was 6, about 7. And I'm going to be 28. So it's been
20 something years, 20 plus years.
Having to feel like I'm responsible for this person because of people in our lives also who look at this person as important to them as well. They're tired and they get fed up. So then it's like, I don't want to leave this person hanging by themselves. So I feel like everybody else kind of drops them and moves on and says they have to be responsible. They have to figure it out. So I feel like if I do it, it's like that. I'm like that last person's straw.
Yeah. Well, when they say that, we're talking about external action, right? So you're something that you're doing externally. I want to take care of what's happening internally because you are feeling the way that you're feeling because of something that you feel internally. You feel responsible for that person, and you're not. You're not responsible for anyone except for yourself, right? As this person is also responsible for themselves. Sometimes you do have to take that back. You take a step back and detach yourself from the feeling of feeling responsible and just play with it. So you don't have to actually do it, but just play with it. Because I think what you're afraid of is actually doing it, but just play around with it internally. Say, if I step away from the feeling of being responsible from it, what's the worst thing that could happen? What's the worst thing? Can I still care for that person? Can I still talk to that person? Can I still be around that person? Can I still be helpful to that person without this being wedged in between? Can I step aside? Can I put this aside, the feeling of being responsible, and teach this person to be responsible for himself?
It's very possible. I just have to get over the fear of what the outcome could be, or maybe the person may not like it and they don't want to have anything to do with me, you know? And then I guess I'm set free in that way, but I wouldn't want it to be that way. It's happened before where
I totally get that, but you do want to be free. You do want to free yourself from this. And if the other person doesn't understand that you're taking care of yourself, well, it hurts. It would probably hurt a little bit more, but you have to ask whether or not this person genuinely cares about you, because if the person genuinely cared about you, they would respect the fact that you want to not be put in that position.
I think, yeah, you're right. You're right. The person does care about me, and the person does love me very, very much. It goes back to the continue to show people love and spread love. I think this person lacked a little bit of love growing up. A lot of love. No, let me correct that. Not a lot of love. They were loved, but they were let down. They weren't protected from something that they were going through, and they never healed from that. So not being able to heal from that as an adult now,
made them dependent on something, and now you feel responsible for them.
And that's also why too, like, there's certain things that I stay away from. Like I said in my last live, I was using alcohol to numb myself. I was lost. I was confused. I didn't know. I didn't want to know. I didn't want to go through the pain of the healing process. I didn't want to forgive myself for allowing certain things to happen in a way. And I was ashamed. So I turned to a substance myself. I no longer abuse that substance. I have occasional glass of wine here and there, but I stopped that.
But it's what, again, as we mentioned earlier, it's what's driving that action that really makes a huge difference. You're not using it to numb anymore.
And
it's not like you're abusing it to the point where you black out or anything like that,
Yeah.
But I mean, forgiveness is definitely a hard thing to do. You have to be willing to step back from something and say, I'm only responsible for myself. I'm not responsible for this person. This person is responsible for themselves. I will no longer feel obligated or feel guilted into helping them, but I will help them because I love them, and I'm gonna love them and show them how to love themselves. They may not ever love themselves, but I'm gonna do my best to just continue to love them and let the chips fall where they may. Because as much as I would love that person to be safe or to have a good life or a good future, I can't take on that huge responsibility. I can't take on that huge responsibility because then I'm not caring for myself. There's a healthy selfishness. Some people don't like to be selfish, but there is a healthy selfishness. One where you can take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. And then there's selfishness where you're only taking care of yourself and you don't care about others. But there is a way for you to take care of yourself and honor yourself and set boundaries for yourself and say no to things that don't that don't lift you or aren't positive or aren't good for you. Learning to say no to these things so that you can take better care of yourself, so that you can continue to take care of other people. You've got a good heart and your heart is in the right place. And unfortunately, some people will never see their mistake. They're going to be attached to it, connected to it. And in fact, I'll just put it this way. They're going to be entangled in it. It's like some people have taken their past and they're trying to untangle it. Like the past is a knot. It's a knot. And in trying to untangle that one knot, they're like now tangled in it, and they're still trying to take care of that knot, not realizing that they're completely wrapped in it, wrapped in the mix. So unfortunately, not everyone's gonna,
Yeah, I know. It's a process. But
it is. I like what Soldier says. I think it was Soldier. Even Jesus, as he was hanging on the cross after being beaten and nailed to the cross, said, "Father, forgive them. They know not what they do." So some people hurt us and not even know why they do it. They just do it.
Yeah.
As I said, my mom was not aware that she was actually projecting her pain onto me, and
yeah, that's true. Because people do that. They project. And with my previous relationship, it was really bad. And even after, when I met Leonardo, I, talked to him about my past. I did tell him that I sympathize in a sense, and I understood, like I still trying to understand where his hurt was coming from, because I think this person, I know this person was hurt, so he didn't know what to do with somebody who was kind to him. He had no idea what to do with it. It was like totally new to him, and it was weird. So I think he just was, I don't know, like I forgave that person. I had to in order to be here and be where I'm at now, in order to move on, with it. But it wasn't an easy process. And I barely opened up to him about a lot of things a few months ago, actually. It's hard to talk about, but it's just one of those things where I forgive that person, but I don't need to let that person know that I forgave him. If that makes sense. I don't feel like we need to you can, if that's how you feel your heart and you feel like you need to do it, but I don't feel like we need to do a phone call, send a letter, send a text message. Like, I've had conversations with God, and he knows in my heart where it's at, and I have forgiven that person to be where I'm at now.
Yeah. It's about making amends. Making amends with your past doesn't mean making amends with a person, the people from your past. Making amends with the past is making amends with yourself. What did that experience do to me? What new patterns or new behaviors did I adopt that are not helpful or not serving me? Like, my mom wasn't being a good mom because of her past and how she was hurt. If she would have made amends with herself and said, I allowed this man I welcomed this man, first of all, into my life. I knew how he was, and I still went forward and married this man, against my father's wishes. And then I was in this horrible position, but I also got myself out of that horrible position. I'm no longer there anymore. Now I can focus on being a mother.
Yeah.
But no, she was still wrapped in that anyway,
Yeah.
If she would have made amends with herself, I think she would have been, kinder to me, better to me. But then if she would have been kinder to me, maybe I would have been a brat, and I would have been, spoiled and would have ended up being a part of the world. So who knows? But everything plays out the way that it needs to play out.
And I think everything happens the way that it's supposed to be. I didn't learn that till later on. I was angry for a long time. Why me? Why did this have to happen to me? But I smile about it right now because I know that there was a lesson, and it didn't make me bitter. It didn't make me not want to love anymore. It makes me just want to love more, to be honest, and learn more patience with myself and to forgiving myself. And also, Leonardo has a lot of patience with me. He kind of met me with my pieces a little bit shattered, so I had to kind of put myself like a puzzle a little bit back together. And he's helped me a lot through that. It's
a beautiful puzzle, by the way.
Thank you. He's very, very patient with me because, like I said, like I have triggers, and he's sometimes gets the whiff of those triggers, not like in a mean way, but there are times that like I get triggered and I get into my emotional insecurities, and I'm just like, and I go into like a silent mode, or
Good thing I know emotional jujitsu, so I'm able to just emotion, and then block every emotion, and then just present it to you and say, do you realize that you are responding to me in this way, or that you're responding to the situation in this way, and that there's also this other way that you can respond, which will be a lot easier and helpful and healthier. And then, okay. And that's the thing. Some people don't know that they're responding, harshly, and that there is an option of responding calmly or with love or what have you. I myself included, there's sometimes some things that I react to, and then again, I have to go into that practice where I separate myself from the feeling of the thing, and ask myself, is this feeling really appropriate for this?
Yeah.
Is this feeling really this reaction, is it the appropriate reaction for this? If it is, what is it going to produce? If it's not, if it's going to produce something negative, then what other action can I take that's going to produce the results that I want, or close to the results that I want? Because not everything is going to be perfect. Sometimes I don't get what I want. But at least produce, something good or something positive.
Yeah.
Something, life-changing. And sometimes it means walking away from people. Unfortunately, I've walked away from some people.
I've walked away from a lot of people too, or I've had a lot of people walk away from me because I've decided to just grow and change. And not that I didn't think that they were growing or changing, not at all. It's just everybody's timings are different. I realized some things about myself that I really wanted to change and make different. Just to better myself and learning to love myself too. I saw Katie say something that she prefers to love others and herself, which I respectfully disagree. You should love yourself just as much as you love others. You should take some time to really loving yourself. It took me a long time to come to that because it's.
At least you learned it earlier than I did. I didn't learn it until my early 30s. So,
Well, I'm almost there. So
you're almost there, but you learned it. You learned it quick. You learned it well. I saw something here. Yes, we need to keep our feelings in check and our thoughts. I'm not sure how you all see your emotions and your thoughts. Most people, as I've noticed, see themselves as their feelings and their thoughts. These are my feelings, my thoughts. But even in the language, it's like I have these. I don't say, oh, we do say I feel, but I don't say I am this feeling. I am. Oh, I do. I guess we do say I'm angry, right? But we don't say I'm anger. Oh, I'm anger. I'm hatred. I'm fear. Right now, you say I'm fearful. Right? These are thoughts. These are things that we possess. But there's ringing in my ear. Yes, receiving. There's a ringing in my ear. I'm hitting something here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I noticed this at an early age. One time my mom was telling me, she came home and told me a story. She looked pale. She was scared. She was driving home and she was at a red light and somehow the sun was bouncing off this building, a glass, and it kind of, the glare was bothering her. And then she said that out of nowhere, she started to feel panicky. Like she started to panic inside and she wasn't sure what it was. Like she was just starting to feel like an anxiety attack. My mom's name is Mayela. So then she's like, and I was sitting in this red light and I said to myself, Mayela, calm down. You're fine. Take a deep breath. Okay, good. So exhale. Okay, good. Calm down. You're fine. The light's going to turn green and you're just going to drive and you're going to feel fine. And she goes, and then I felt fine. And then I said to my mom, do you realize that you there's two of you? There's the you that is panicking, the feeling, the mind, self, the persona, right? That is panicking. And then there's the you that is calm, that is telling the other one to be calm. You're saying to yourself, Mayela, from a calm state, from a calm place, you're telling yourself, Mayela, calm down, and you listened. Breathe. Good. When the light turns green, you're going to drive off and you're going to feel fine. Right? And she went and she was fine. I said, do you realize that you just had a conversation with yourself and there was one that was calm and one that was panicking? Which one are you? She's like, I never thought of it that way. And then from that moment on, she's like, she would tell me, hey, I did it again today.
Oh.
I did it, I did it again. And congratulations, David.
Oh yeah.
Good luck on your interview. And so what I'm trying to get at, familia, is that we all have that. There's the us that has access to joy, calm, love, kindness, and all that. And the us that is of the world and that's reactive to the world. It freaks out. It doesn't know. It's afraid. It's all these things, right? And so we have to be more mindful of that. So yes, keep your emotions on check. Keep your mind in check too. Our minds are tools. They're meant for us to understand the world and for us to engage with the world and interact with it, right? And to also make sense of it. But yes, we have to be mindful of all of that, and we have to be mindful of our inner talk, our inside talk, right? Because a lot of our inside talk is not healthy. It's actually damaged. It's God, you're so stupid. It's God, you think you're going to be able to do that? You think that you can do that? When have you ever done anything even close to it?
That's true, because I'm like my biggest like
Debbie Downer?
Pretty much.
No offense to Debbie's out there.
Ow, my finger. Oh, you squeezed it.
Remember, don't hold on to the past. That happened in the past.
Ow.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. So yes, what was I saying?
That you're your biggest Debbie Downer.
I am. Like, I'm like my biggest, like, a person who insult, like, no one actually really comes out and says like you're dumb or you can't do it. I'm the number one person that tells myself that, and I'm the number one person why sometimes I don't do things, because I'm already thinking. You know how you said don't think in the past or try to get away from being in the past, being the here and now. I'm also one of those who's already thinking about the future, and it's sometimes, and that's not a bad thing, but it is when you're thinking negatively about the future. Like, I'm already thinking like about, oh, my week is going to be bad because I have to do this day. And I'm like, wait, it's only Saturday and we're not in Sunday or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. And I'm already thinking ahead. So I do that also, which is.
And how do you feel? Don't you just feel tired already?
Yeah, I'm already exhausted and I haven't even gone to those days. So then when I finally get to those days, I'm like done. I'm like, wait.
That's insane.
And I do it a lot. No, it's okay. No, I'm just being literally, that's one of the things that I'm trying to change. I worry too much. I overthink way too much. I just, most of the time I'm just worried that I'm going to upset people or hurt people. I'm a people pleaser. We talked about this. I don't like people being mad at me. I don't, it makes me.
Think about this though. Do you get mad when people say no to you, that they can't, or give you an excuse?
That's the thing. No. I'm more like, okay, I understand. But to me, I think Katie also said like she doesn't know how to say no. I can't say no either, because the moment that I say no, I'm guilt tripped. Is that right?
Guilt tripped.
Guilt tripped. Yeah.
I said girl tripped.
Hey, guilt tripped. And then I feel really bad. And it's not just like I really do, like my heart's heavy and I'm just like, so I'd rather just say yes. And I'm not saying that it's not a genuine yes. I don't want to say that I'm being fake like in that way, but I'd rather say yes and me kind of feel like stressed out because I still got to get my own things done. Right. Mm-hmm. And then as long as that person's happy, mm-hmm. then I'm like, now I'm stressed out. I've done it so many times. Like when I have to go to work.
It feels so good to say no though.
It does. And I don't do it in a rude way.
When you finally do, and even if it bothers them, I go, oh, really? You can't? Yeah, I'm really sorry. I can't. I'm like, oh, all right. If they get upset, that's their problem. Mm-hmm. You know,
you're right.
It's your problem. It's either you're gonna find it's either you're upset about me not being able to do this favor for you, and you go and find somebody else to do it for you, or I add more to my pile and then I'm gonna resent you for it.
Yeah, I mean, you can say yes, of course it is okay to say no. Also, it's the way that you say no too, you know, because there are some people that are just like, they're rude about it. I'm not. I don't say it that way, but the times that I have, like, I'm like nervous. I get it. Like my anxiety is real. And then so like when I'm about to like have to tell somebody like I can't, I'm like, oh no, my heart's racing. I'm sweating. My palm, like I'm shaky. And like,
you know what helped me? Say no. Learn to say no. Maybe this will help you all. Say, you know what? Unfortunately, I can't. But if anything changes, I'll let you know.
That's literally what Jackie just put.
Yeah. If anything changes, I'll let you know. And then this way, it's just like, oh, okay.
The thing
cool.
is I've had people like.
But it's like, I'll let you know tomorrow. Because then they'll check up on you. Like, I learned this from my girls. Luna's like, Dad, can I have some ice cream? And I go, I'll think about it. Maybe later. Maybe later today. And then later comes around. She goes, Dad, it's later. So yes or no. And then I'm like, finally have to say no or yes or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll let you know. And then this way they're like, okay, cool. Or you know what? Any other time I would say yes, but tomorrow is really busy for me. I'm not going to be able to. I'm sorry. But if anything changes, I'll let you know. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. No worries. Thanks.
But we still have those specific people that it's very challenging to say no to. Like,
especially if you always say yes to them. They're like,
yeah,
did you just say no, bro?
I had it. It's usually my family. I love my family, but like a negative but. They just, I always would, in the past, when I was living in Orange County. I would say yes to a lot of things, and I'd be rushing to go to work, and I'm like, wait, I have work in 30 minutes. You need me to go to the bank right now? Like, I can't. But they're like, well, I'm not. The bank closes. I'm like, all right. So I'm rushing to get ready, and then I'm like right at work, like already all exhausted right before I get to work, and I don't like it. But or I've had somebody not talk to me for a month because I said no for the first time. And then they didn't talk to me for about a month. And I'm like,
I'm in trouble now.
Why?
Wait a second. Leonardo Third Music says, if anything changes, is a brush off. Oh, really? So if I ever said that to you, it's not a brush off. It's not a brush off. It's just a kind of way of me saying no without feeling guilty about having to say no to something. So it's
Why,
not
have you told him that before?
No. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I did.
I'm like, did you tell him?
I don't know,
that
but
way?
maybe I did. But if anything changes, I'll let you know. Oh man. So yeah, I'm in trouble.
Great.
I was a real people pleaser, but then I became chronically ill. I had to change because I physically couldn't do anything for anyone.
Oh.
Yeah, that sucks. But yeah,
I'm really sorry.
Totally get that. Yeah. And it's you.
We should practice that.
It's your health that's at risk here too. You take on too many tasks, you stress yourself out, and then no one's there to help.
Like, who's there to help me?
Right.
Like, I'm not saying that I need it, but it is nice to have somebody offer to do something for you, right? Or be okay to do something for you.
Let me tell you, there's nothing worse than being a truck owner. Like, you own a truck, because that's when all your friends come out and like, hey, can you help me move this thing? Hey, I'm moving. Can you help me do this? Hey, I need to go pick up this thing. Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? And then they don't even offer gas money. Or when they buy a truck and you need something moved, they're like, no, man, sorry, I can't. I'm not bitter.
Come on. Wait a moment.
I'm not bitter. But yeah, if you own a truck, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you've ever owned a truck, you know what I'm talking about.
Nobody's in there.
My no has me saying something like, send it to me in an email or text message. That's not a no. It's a hey, I'll get to it. It's easier than it, because I try to remember not to forget. Right?
Alrighty.
So the solution, don't buy a truck. Yeah, don't buy a truck. I want to buy a truck so bad.
Just don't have a car.
I want to buy a truck, but then I don't want to buy a truck because then I become Uber and, hey, can you go buy this? Can you go do this?
Yeah, if you don't have a car, can't really.
You're the family Uber, and you got your rates are super cheap too.
Yeah.
They don't even offer to buy tacos. What kind of nonsense is that? All right, familia. Well, we're gonna get going. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for joining us for the taco party and for this conversation. It was enlightening. We thank you so much for your questions. We hope that the answers were satisfying enough. We thank you so much.
We love you guys.
Yeah, we love you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. And if there's anything we missed, let us know in the comment section. Jackie, please get some sleep. Get some sleep, please.
Yes, Jackie. We love you.
All right. Learn that God for me. Sorry, I keep getting pulled in by comments.
No, it's okay.
Learn that God loved me for me and not for what I do was a huge thing. Yeah, awesome. That's right. All right, familia. We're gonna go get food, and yes, that was my neck that just cracked. 33 minutes is gone. All right. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on our next